Okay, guys, I'm Costa from Pinnacle Stone Restoration, and today we are going to talk to you about the refinishing system that we do for natural stone, especially with travertine floors. We call it as the 8+ system, but it's also known as seamless floor system or Italian system. And what it means, the whole refinishing process involves about 8 steps. That's why I call it 8 plus minus 8 steps. So each step, I want to talk to you about each particular step. So the process starts with grout removal. So the traditional cement-based grout has to come out from the grout joints, and then if you want to come and see how it's done, as you see, we already removed quite significant area, and they are ready to be inserted by epoxy filler, which I'll be talking about it in the next step. But first of all, I just want to let you know that this is how it's done. We remove grout manually. In this video, you're gonna see the process as well. We're using the hand grinders, the blades, and vacuum to contain the dust. So basically this is the first step. The second step will follow with filling the grout joints with epoxy material, which eventually will become part of the floor. So a little bit about 8+ system. What are the benefits? Basically, or why they call also seamless floors, because the final result should be this way. Like right now, if I run my hand across, I can feel the transition from tile to tile, of course, because they're distressed grout joints, right? So I see it even if I close my eyes and run my hand across, I will feel it. But idea of this 8+ system floor is to make sure transition between tile and tile becomes seamless. So let's say if I run my hand and close my eyes and run my hand cross, I shouldn't feel the transition. And that's what we are going to achieve with this floor in next 8 steps. One also talk about how we contain the dust, because I know it's the most challenging part is to remove the grout, and it's never easy way to do it because basically grout is strong. We're using the blades, we're using the high RPM hand grinders. We contain the dust with the handheld vacuum, like the hose, but the rest of the dust has to be contained with the special machine which we have here. As you see, we have the big hose coming this way, and we're gonna place this machine very close to where we're working, so all the loose dust will go here and will be moved out from the house. So this is the best we can do at this point. You know, it's never easy to remove the grout. about or describing the process of 8+ refinishing. We already spoke about the first step, which is grout removal, and you saw the way we remove the grout from the grout joints using the appropriate tooling. Now it's time to fill the empty grout joints with epoxy filling. This is a process, the filling process basically takes care of the very important aspects of the whole process. Basically reinforces your tiles. So basically what happens, since the cementitious grout is not strong enough to kind of bond tiles together, epoxy on the other hand becomes very strong bonding agent. And that's the way it looks. Once we start filling, we try to exaggerate. We're exaggerating the filling process, and as you see right here, it doesn't look any good, right? You know, it doesn't look presentable, but that's exactly what we want. Because when we start removing lippage, which is following step after filling the grout joints, those areas that those not presentable areas becomes our guidance. That way it tells us how much we have to cut the lippage and how, if we got the, you know, the results that we need. Very heavy duty blow grinding machines, which are equipped with very aggressive metal bond diamond pads. As you see, we're using water as a lubricant not to overheat the diamond, and that's why we have a slurry. It has to be picked out by the vacuum. Step of 8+ system is lippage removal, which is a very significant step. That's basically after lippage removal, the whole floor changes from being traditional installation tile when you see the individual tiles and with the grout, distressed grout joints. After lippage removal, you're gonna see seamless floor and even surface. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that if we look at the work that we've done, you can tell already that whole lippage is done. The important part is to make sure the tile and grout, which is here, and another tile are in same elevation. And if you run the straight object across, it shouldn't have any interference. So as you see, everything is nice and flat, and ready to go with next step, which will be again grinding. Because when we grind this lippage, we're using very coarse diamonds, and even though we're making the surface flat, we also making it very rough, and we produce very, significant and deep scratches. And the important and challenging part is to make sure to use the next step diamonds to remove those heavy scratches. So that becomes a challenge for us after we remove the lippage. The whole process is full of challenges, but gradually it kind of gets milder and gets lighter. But right now, the lippage removal that we accomplished so far, I'm very happy with it. You can see the quite promising pictures here. So I will get back to you with step 4 as we move forward. So lippage has been removed. As I mentioned earlier, we used very coarse diamonds to remove the lippage to make sure the floor is flat. So then challenging part of course was to make sure the diamond pads that created very deep scratches was taken care of by following steps, which we did. So right now at this stage we have a floor, flat floor, scratchless basically, and ready to be grouted. So why it has to be grouted? Because during the process, because it's travertine tile and it comes from, that material comes from river beds and from lake beds, they have multiple holes into it. So during the refinishing process, we expose those holes, and now it's a time to fill them with the special filling material. I want to show you exactly what I mean by that. For example, during the grinding process, we created multiple holes like that. So this kind of reminds the travertine. If you take it upside down, that's how they look. But in a factory, when they harvesting travertine, that's exactly how they get it from the mountains, with a lot of multiple holes. And what they do, they take the filling material and they fill them. So that's exactly what we're going to mimic here. We're gonna take the grouting material with the trowel technique. We're gonna inject them into those tiny holes, big holes, small holes, doesn't matter. It's gonna fill completely and let it cure. So we give a day or so to nice and harden it, and then after that we remove the excess. And after that, the honing process starts. Basically, the finishing stage starts. Okay guys, so just to highlight what we did, we grouted the floor, we filled the T-holes with the special grouting material, and after that, when we cured, we gave a day or so, and after that we removed the excess. So I'm very pleased with the results, because I want to show you the area exactly we were talking about, like before we grouted. For example, this tile, if you remember, this area, it had multiple holes, And all these represents the grouting and filling. So as you see, everything is filled. I would say 90% of the holes are filled, which is like very normal for travertine, because travertine, as you know, is full of holes. 90% will be very, very good result. I'm very pleased with the results. And what we're doing right now, we do a couple things. We do edges, of course. Edges has to be done by hand. Guys are using handheld grinders, and then we have special pads, the flexible pads that make sure to cut through the lippage, get close to the baseboards, and make sure that everything is uniform and seamless. And then after that, we gotta start honing the floor. Right now, this floor is at 200 grit. So next step will be 400 grit. And following step will be 800 grit. And at that point, travertine is already pretty much gets to its final stage. As you know, a lot of times clients, they like to have travertine honed versus polished. This particular client prefers this floor to be honed, so we are going to start it at 800 and then go after that with BIP system and seal. So I'm gonna come back to you after we start honing this travertine at 800 grit, and we will be at the final stage. Okay? See you guys soon. One of the characteristics of this particular floor is that they had the inserts, marble inserts. As you know, this is travertine, this is marble. So customer wants the marble inserts to be shiny, so which is make it quite challenging for us, but it's always a solution. So what we're doing right now, we are taping or masking every diamond to make them ready to be polished. So that way, when as a finished product, travertine floor will look honed, and the marble inserts will be glass shining. Like you will have a very high reflection. As you can see, our technician already polished those diamonds manually by hand. So I'm gonna remove the tape, the protection tape, and then you can tell right away the honed and polished insert. Okay guys, so we are at the prior to last stage, which is sealing process. So right now floor is completely done, diamond polished, or I would say diamond honed, because we used only 1500 grit diamond impregnating pads, DIPs. As you see, it has a light sheen. That's what client wanted to have it, not the mirror image, but more like the light sheen into it. So this floor is ready to be sealed. The important part about our way of sealing it, we don't do traditional sealing like usually it's been done. You apply sealer and then you go with a microfiber pad, then you apply everywhere. No, we use the sealer that gets applied by floor machine into as a solution. So you will see in the next footage that the way we do the sealing, why it's important and why it's so different and why it's so effective, because it's been proved. That's actually very much European style of sealing natural stone. So that's how we do it. So next footage you will see the sealing part as the final stage of the 8+ system. Okay guys, so everything is done. The 8+ system is completed. We executed each step precisely with the professional approach. Very pleased with the results, and I want to say a few things about the 8+ system on travertine floor. Our idea about natural stone and natural stone floors is that we want to provide the exact condition when the stone ages well and gets its own patina. That's the beauty of it, because I don't want clients to get frustrated. Okay, what happens after 1 month? What happens after 6 months? The idea of making floors and refinishing floors is to make sure that it will age well. So this particular floor will age with patina, and every day it's gonna start looking better and better. That's the beauty of the 8+ system. Another benefit is so easy to maintain. First of all, there is no low spots. As you know, everything is flat, everything is seamless, unbroken surface. So there is no low spots for dirt or anything that, those nature to go into it and then just deposit itself. So right now it's so easy to clean daily, once a week. Another benefit is easy to maintain. Like I would say after 1 year or so, if you see there's a wear and tear happening, it's so easy to refinish the floor. It will take, like 10 times less to bring back the original beauty. So overall, take a look. This is beautiful floor, seamless floor, has every aspect of the floor is gorgeous, well thought, well executed.